Welcome to today's webinar, State of Hamilton 2022. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's event. You may have joined the presentation listening using your computer speaker system by default. If you'd prefer to join over the telephone, just select phone in the audio pane and the dial-in information will be displayed. You will have the opportunity to submit text questions to the presenters by typing your questions into the questions pane of the control panel. You may send in your questions at any time during the presentation. We will address them at the end. I would now like to introduce Rob Cumming, Regional Sales Director.
Thank you, Trudy. Hello and welcome everybody to the State of Hamilton webinar 2022. I'd like to thank you for joining and taking the time today. We have a full agenda for the next hour. We're going to start with John Stroya. He's going to talk about some of the state of the business, Hamilton United, as well as some of our products and the innovations. I'm going to follow up with a segment on our marketing endeavors. Nick Beeler will follow me with some technical training and sales training information. And we're going to follow up with Todd Lefevers on some product updates and some of the engineering side of the business. So if you do have any questions, by all means, please use the question pane from the GoToWebinar control panel, and we will answer those at the end of the webinar, time permitting. If we can't get to your question today, we will send you an email with a direct follow-up on it. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to John Stroya.
Well, welcome, partners. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Sorry about the last time we failed to launch there, but I'm proud to announce that we're broadcasting from our new technical center, where we do all our tech support and technical training. So this wonderful wall behind me has some of our products in full display. So I'm going to start off by talking about where Hamilton is today and what kind of year we had in the business update. First of all, business last year was good. We had some growth, thankfully, from you, our channel partners. Appreciate your business. National accounts overall were pretty flat, other than Chase. Chase had a pretty strong year. Hopefully you noticed that we were pretty innovative last year. I think right now, between last year and this year, we're working on more new products to enhance our product line and to help provide a better competitive advantage for you than we have in 10 years, and I'm sure way more than the rest of the industry combined. We'll continue to do that. You know, I think innovation is the way forward in this market for us to maintain our competitive edge, and like I said, your competitive edge. So what's going on in the supply chain and in our costs and so forth? There's still some weaknesses there. Extended lead times in some areas, you know, electronics, small run components. We've extended a lot of our POs to try to make up for this. For example, for all our boards, we're literally, we have purchase orders to buy throughout the end of this year. So we've kind of stuck our neck out to ensure our supply chain. We remain focused on insourcing. I've talked about this in the past. So anything we can do to have more control over our own supply chain. I'll give you an example. We literally went out and bought a machine shop. So one of the things we found, if you're not familiar, machining in this country over the years, we just haven't invested in training people. So we're seeing fewer and fewer machine shops, and we don't do a ton of machined parts here. Todd and his team have done a great job getting machining out of our products, which is a good thing because machining is expensive and precise, and actually it's hard to find anymore. So our demand or our big production runs aren't in machining. So as we've seen the supply chain tighten, a lot of our long-term machining suppliers have just said, you know what, we don't want your business anymore. So we got pretty proactive and literally bought a machine shop. So you'll see we're going to have 5 machines here that are well maintained, and we bought some of the talent, or bringing some of the talent over from that. Then we've gone and been really aggressive about finding alternative sources for things that are made outside of this country, particularly in China. We didn't do a lot of sourcing from China, but we did some, and we have good backup supplies for all those. You've seen, and unfortunately we've passed along some of these costs, significant increases, mainly in steel, but also in plastics and electronics. Electronics is probably going to get a lot worse. Components supplied there are getting harder and harder to get. I'll show you a couple slides here in a minute. Steel's finally leveled off, although plate steel continues to be very, very expensive. So you'll see us talk about that a lot. We're trying to do some aggressive things for those folks who still want to buy plate steel safes. You'll see we're going to offer a composite door and try to do some things to make those back to being affordable, because right now pricing on steel constructed safes has gone up tremendously. And just so everybody knows, for us, the latter part of December and all of January were pretty rough here. We had close to 80 people out in January, most with COVID. So our production in January is the lowest since I've been in Hamilton. Not much we could do to control that, just because we were all infected, some of us twice. But the good news there is that I think everybody here has had it. So we've seen a pretty dramatic decrease in the number of people out due to illness since the first week of February. So I think we're through the big push there. Just a couple slides on steel. So you can see here, this is this is plate price. So this is what we buy to make our plate safes. You can see a pretty dramatic increase. I think it's going to go down a little bit because we're starting to see foreign, mostly Europe, prices go down a little bit. So that should drag our U.S. prices down. Fortunately, the issue is that Europe and China are full. So they're not exporting a ton just because they have all the demand they can meet in their country. So, and I don't know if anybody's following this too, shipping costs have gone up tenfold in the last year. So a container of goods a year ago that you could ship for $2,500 is now $20,000 or more. And takes forever. So it's pretty crazy. This is a cold rolled steel. So most of the other parts of our products that's thinner gauge is cold rolled. So you can see we got a little bit of a dip here, but it's still 2.5 times the historic high. So again, I think it'll come down a little bit. Will it ever get back to where it was? I don't see that happening anytime soon, because now this was all pre-inflation. Remember that? So now we got inflation. So that's hurt some of our other costs. But we do not right now foresee in the next quarter any kind of price increase. So I will commit to that right now, but I can't commit to anything beyond that, depending on what happens with our costs and so forth. So I'm going to talk about our what's gone on in cash management. A lot of people have read that we literally took our cash management business globally and sold it to Garda, who formed a company called Sesame. So what's the impact for you, our channel partners? You are all automatically channel partners of Sesame. So really, and the same folks that you've been working with, Nick and Rob, Mike Falk, Rob Biggs, the internal folks that are in cash management, you will continue working with those folks for the foreseeable future. So the impact to you right now is nothing. We are going to be a contract manufacturer to Sesame. So we'll still make TCRs and all the products. We still will provide the technical support. We actually are going to provide all the outsourced ERP system and IT and phones and all that kind of good stuff for the foreseeable future. At some point, I'm sure that'll change. But for now, no change, no impact to you folks. And if you think about this combination, this Tidell's in this mix, you know, none of the other players really make a TCR. And I would say we have the best solution when it comes to recycling and so forth. So I don't see that changing in the foreseeable future. So if you have great opportunities, we'll continue to support it, and we still want to go out and win those. I'm really excited about Hamilton United. So, you know, upcoming here, starting April 12th, I believe, is our channel partner conference. I hope as many of you could get here as possible, because I really think we've got some neat stuff to show off now. The move has gone pretty well. If all of you have probably moved your house sometime in the past, and if it's like most people I talk to, that's usually the 4 or 5 most stressful day in your life. Well, multiply by 1,000. That's kind of what we've had here in the last 6 months. But it's turned out great. It's great to be in one building. Our facility here is world class. I mean, world class. We got great support from Gunnebo to build this building. It's a $20 million investment. New paint line, new cement. When you see it, you're going to be, I think, pleasantly surprised. And I think over time, it's going to become more and more of a competitive advantage for us versus our competition. Innovation. So, this is one area the folks here will tell you that I spend a lot of time on, and I drive us to be creative and innovative because, like I said at the beginning here, I think it's the one way we can maintain our competitive advantage. So we did retest our steel safes, vault doors, vault panels. We made some changes in the doors, which we'll talk about. We have a new manual deal drawer, which I'm really excited about. This perhaps isn't the best fit for banking, could be, but we really designed this around retail and to advance into the retail market. And I'm really excited about some of the features here and what we do and how we tested this. So, this was really to get at a different price point than your traditional banking drawer. It's big, it can hold some of the typical things you see in a pharmacy, like a box of needles and some liquids and so forth, which it was designed around. Not quite as big as the chicken drawer, but it's big enough, it fits it's the right fit. And I'm pretty excited to show you this. So you can't hear them talking here, but the significance of this is that is the 1 millionth test transaction on this drawer. So we literally had this thing set up, I think it was 7 or 8 months, 24 hours a day, running transactions or operations. I think we burned through 3 test motors to test this. So it literally did 1 million transactions. So we're pretty excited about this. Good test. And I think what we're going to put out is super reliable, super smooth, easy to use, so forth. I'm also really excited about this. This is a collaboration between a bunch of people here, some of our folks internationally. This is a Class M door, which we've traditionally made out of steel, but we really wanted to figure out how we do it in composite. And I'll talk about some of the features because it's pretty unique. So it's Class M, which we got the rating, but it's also a 3-hour fire rating. And we're also moving forward with a bullet resistive rating and a sound rating. So at the end of the day, you'll have a door that is UL attack tested, VR, fire, and soundproof ratings. There's nothing like it on the market. So we did this again. This maybe isn't the door for banks, but for cannabis, for retail, for jewelry, for a bunch of other stores, for government, right? We think this is going to be a great alternative. Next is a new safe deposit design. So, I know this is a big deal, and I can tell you from internally, we literally have made safe deposit boxes like Red made them in 1967 in a storage shed, right? So the culture at Hamilton for this is a significant change for us. But the way we've made them for 60 years was like a blacksmith shop. I think we had 3 or 4 different size 5-inch doors, which is hard to fathom, right? So really to be able to continue to make safe deposit boxes, to make them effectively, efficiently, to offer them to you all at a price that makes sense anymore, we had to redesign these. I think the result's going to be, one, they're going to be consistent, right? They're going to be square. The doors are going to be the same size. We're using piano hinges, which are actually stronger than the hinges we've used in the past. I think overall these are actually going to be more secure, although we can have the argument about how secure a safe deposit box is. It's the vault, it's security, right? But so we're really trying to kind of get more standardized, and I think overall they look better. That's my opinion. And we wrestled this with a long time. We looked at different color hinges. We talked to many of you out there to get your feedback and involvement to make sure. This market is you probably all know, it's small now. It's way different than it used to be. So updated design on the vault doors. So we've made some changes on the design, and we're actually getting a fire rating on our vault doors, which, as far as I know, no one else has that. If you really think through it, why hasn't anybody ever done that, right? If you think about it, you kind of want to protect what's inside your vault there. But anyway, so stay tuned for more of that. So all the same great features we had in the past, plus new updated modern look and a fire rating, which is great. Updated vault panels. We got a little bit different design, but the important point there is that we've retested and we've recertified, and we're good to go there. Just a couple things. I will beat you over the head with these because I think they're unique differentiators, that not necessarily new things, but the first one is new. So to try to make a steel safe more affordable, we certified a composite door on a steel safe. The door makes up a big chunk of the cost of a steel safe because it's thicker and the bolt work and how we mount it and so forth. So to take a composite door, put that on there, which is every bit as strong, probably stronger, makes that more affordable. And I think you're going to hear us talk a lot about, do you really need a steel safe? You know, you're really saving 2 inches maybe by going from a composite to steel. So we want to challenge some of that culture, but we know some people still want to do that. So here's an alternative that we're trying to keep the price where it's more affordable as steel goes through the roof. One of the things I never knew about before I came to Hamilton, actually saw it at one of our channel partners' display areas, was the through the counter unit. So I said, "What's that?" You know, they're like, "Well, you make that." Right. So, you know, we don't talk about this enough, and I don't think we sell enough of this because it's a very unique proposition. So it allows you basically, this coupled with potentially a diverter, you can have this come up through the counter at a front counter if you don't want to fully staff your drive up or the drive up area full time, and if it's separate. It's a really nice, ergonomically friendly to the teller solution. So something to think about. Diverters, we make diverters. Diverters, like some other things here, we won't sell one for 2 months and then we sell 10. You know, so I think some people discover it, promote it, customers like it, but it's something that, again, that helps differentiate us. Through some of the feedback through particularly one channel partner, we developed XLR riser plate, which helps with converting or replacing an existing unit, and it makes a nice clean installation and may actually have you not have to have an electrician come out and you know, do saw cuts on the curb and so forth. So it's a nice solution to help with your installations to be a little cleaner. License plate camera, you know, this is something we offer, and we now have a license plate camera that does both analog and IP. So you can integrate this one into your, you can look at it through video, but also integrate it into your security system. Color or UVC light kits, so you can have these ultraviolet lights that can help kill germs, reduce viruses, and so forth, or display nice colors. So door bucks, again, another attempt to help you to do better installations. So we can provide a door buck that you can install to help make an installation of a vault door a lot easier. Access control through ICT, we actually installed that here in the building here. It's working great, and we're seeing a lot more traction there. DVR, NVR through March and Networks and Verint, we're still providing that, and we had a lot of demand for that last year. And parts. And speaking of parts, actually, I'll get back to parts in a minute. Parts, we offer competitive parts, and I'll show you some of those at the end. We're actually doing some reverse engineering of parts. I shouldn't say that. We're developing parts that are compatible with ones that are out there. That's a better way of putting it. But anyway, 98 replacement head, again, big differentiator. We talk about this all the time. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to show you. So, and nothing against this install. If you have to replace whole head in the safe, this is pretty well done. But you didn't have to do it. So if you look at this, you think about it, this was a 24-hour job, full-time guard the whole time you were there, 3 men, right, working on this. New safe had to be bought, the whole new head. They had to saw cut through marble or granite or whatever. So look at this mess, and then look how it ended up. They had to cut through the historical frame of the window next door and so forth. We could have done this, or you could have done this using 98 RH in half a day. You know, this is a 24-hour at least job. It's a huge differentiator for us, right? And Todd will talk about what we're doing with heads here, and we're going to continue to offer this as an option, and actually going to get a little more easy to do. Parts, I just mentioned parts, but I just want to show some stats on our parts. Our parts business over the last 2 years have grown. Obviously, when COVID came out, it grew, but we've actually kept up with a lot of that. So thank you, everybody, for those folks who switched to potentially buy parts from us. Over 2,000 parts. We're shipping 96% of what we do same day. Our average shipment is 1.12 days. We track this pretty closely. We pull parts out of operations. It's a separate little company back there because we think this is really important. And we're looking for more parts to provide. So we're doing a lot of work around competitive replacement parts, stuff that's hard to get, feedback we've gotten for you, not just going and buying from someone, but there's some things we can build ourselves that are suitable replacements. So stay tuned for that. We'd love to be your single source for parts. That's it for me for right now. I'll be back when we have some high quality questions for everybody to answer. So I'm going to turn things back over to Rob. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. As mentioned a little earlier today, I'm going to be touching on some marketing thoughts and endeavors. So if you could switch, there you go. It's kind of hard to believe, but in a couple of days we'll be finished 2 months into the year, and a month from now you'll be wrapping up Q1. So anybody who's been in sales or has anything to do with sales kind of has done some planning for the year. You know where your revenue's coming from. But we all know things can kind of go sideways. So we want to be able to help you either, backfill some of that or drive some extra revenue. And so one of the things that we've talked about is, and we've had some success recently with some of our partners, is some co-branded marketing campaigns. So over the last 6 months, Christy and Lynn have done a great job of refreshing all of our brochures. They've got a great new look, updated messaging. So we're hearing that everybody's kind of getting back out into the marketplace. We're hearing there's a lot of demand to get back out to trade shows, in-person meetings, whether it be in your office or you're giving a presentation at a customer site. So these co-branded brochures are great because not only does it have the messaging, but it will have your logo as well as your contact information. So it has that leave behind for the customer. So not only does it have the solution there, but that contact to get in touch with you to chat further about this. In conjunction with the brochures, we also have gathered high resolution photos for just about all of our solutions. So updated photos. So these photos, along with the channel partner logo, you can update these on your website, give it that fresh new look. So, I think we've all been there when we've kind of gone out and tried to search something and been underwhelmed by a website. So I know a lot of people have talked to us, they're updating their websites and they want to have that fresh new look. We're happy to help with that and can provide you with the specific solutions for then the corresponding photos for that as well. But on a grander scale, we want to help you with some marketing campaigns and do some co-branded marketing campaigns. And we all know the way that we're kind of consuming media these days in the digital world. A lot of it is through the social media and through email. And when we talk about social media and business, I think that the majority of it is still taking place through LinkedIn. If you've had some success with Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any of those other platforms, let us know, because we'd love to hear about how you've gone about having that success and why it's worked for you. But LinkedIn still seems to be the platform where you're going to get the most bang for your buck. It kind of started out as a way of looking for a new job, but over the years it's transformed to a way that you can promote your brand and get your brand awareness out there. Just to give you an idea, I did some quick little research and found out LinkedIn has over 700 million users right now, and a quarter of those users are in the United States. So that means the decision makers at your companies that you're speaking with, the people that have the ability to hire and fire, the ability to expand, the ability to make purchasing decisions, to purchase the solutions you're selling, they have a LinkedIn profile. So getting this messaging out to those folks is very important. So we've done some successful campaigns where we've worked with partners and where we've looked at some specific verticals, whether it be the traditional financials, emerging markets like cannabis, or perhaps you've had some recent success with retail chains and you want to try to replicate some of that. So we've kind of come up with an idea of like some 3 to 5 week campaigns for just about all of our solutions. we've developed 3 to 5 bullet points that kind of give you the highlight of the night, so to speak, that highlights the solution, give you some features, advantages, and benefits. And then in conjunction with your marketing team or whoever wears that marketing hat within your organization, we can come up with, and you can come up with the message that you want to specifically deliver to your customer or your prospect. So we can highlight various solutions or target various products. With that, I think the best way to come up with this is we've worked with some joint marketing sessions. So myself or Nick, along with Christy and Lynn, we can get together with you and your marketing stakeholders and talk about the message you want to deliver, who you want to deliver it to, and how we can work together to come up with the best bang for your buck to get that marketing information out there. So as I said, we're fast approaching the end of Q1, so I think the sooner we can get together and come up with some ideas and come up with some marketing campaigns, it'll bear fruit towards the end of the spring and into the summer and towards the end of this year. So I know we'll be contacting you shortly and want to talk to you more about working on these sessions. Nick, if you could switch to the next one, please. So just a few quick reminders. John touched on it earlier, but there is a lot of advantages with going composite over steel. There's some price advantages, some weight advantages, and with our most popular, say probably the TL15, if you work ahead with your customer, you're going to be able to fit these in because the width difference, as John mentioned, is probably only about 2 inches or so. So for those customers who are traditionally in steel and they haven't looked at composite before, I think this can be a real eye opener for them and something that's going to differentiate you and help you win some business. We've mentioned this before, the channel partner portal. For those of you that are not signed up, please make sure that everybody in your organization who should have access to the portal does have access. Right at the login page, you can request that. And Christy, I know she checks it a couple times a day. So the portal, it's going to give you those tools you need on a day-to-day basis to win those sales cycles, to empower your sales reps. It's going to give you brochures, drawings, updated price lists, and as well, it's going to give you the ability to request online quotes for custom safes and vaults. And John touched on it as well, but I think it's very important. You saw some great pictures earlier. Nick's going to show some more shortly here. Come out and visit us. If you're in a sales cycle, a competitive sales cycle, you're in an RFP, bring those customers out to our site. There's nobody right now that's making the investment in innovations and manufacturing that we are. It's going to give your customers the ability to talk to the people that make the solutions, that engineer the solutions, and provide the technical support to the solutions on a day-to-day basis. And if it's not your customers you bring out the sales team. This is a great way to empower your sales reps. It's going to give them a ton of knowledge. So when they're in those sales cycles, they're in the meetings with customers, they're able to really explain what the solution is and how it benefits you on a day-to-day basis. And finally, after a few years, we're going back to live. We're going to have our channel partner conference in April, the 11th to the 13th. Thank you to those of you who have already signed up and registered. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the interest. As mentioned, it's the 11th to the 13th, and we're going to come out with a full agenda of exactly what's taking place in the near future here, but it's going to follow a pretty similar format, and we look forward to actually getting to spend some time with you face to face. So that being said, thank you. That's my portion of the presentation. I'm going to turn it over to Nick.
Thanks, Rob. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of the training. As Rob had mentioned, it's important for you guys to get out here, come to the site, come to the new building here in Milford. You'll see that we're all under one roof, and it is truly state of the art. So we'll first start off with technical training. We have one per quarter. The first one here is next week in March. It's already full. We have one in June, which is already half full. I think we have 5 or 6 people already signed up. We have a total of 10. Each class is 10 technicians with our 3 technical support guys. So make sure you get out there and register. The way to register is go out to the dealer portal, sign in, go to the tech training or the technical support tab, and go down, and it'll be 2022 tech registration. We have one in June, one in September, and then the last one is in November. If you have 10 technicians that you would like to get trained at one time, call me, call Rob, let us know what time or what time frame you're looking for. We can set up private training. We can send all 10 of them here to the site. Cliff, Alan, and Russ will be able to do the training specifically for your group. So if you can't make one of these 4, but do have enough to do a private training session, let us know, and we'll get that scheduled for you. Inside the technical training, you're going to go through most of what you see behind me. A lot of the drive ups, anywhere from the old HA1000s, HA45s, to the XLR 3347. We'll go over night drops, go over deal drawers, and then we'll also touch base on the entrance controls. If there's anything else, let us know. We can kind of work with the tech team to see if we can do something, especially for the private ones. If there's something you want to dive more deeply into, if you want to spend more time on an HA1000 or 45, we can kind of work with the tech team to schedule that as well. With all the new innovative products that Todd and his team are coming out with, it's very important that we get your technicians trained up on all the products that we have out there. Right now, we have 3 guys, Cliff, Alan, and Russ, who take calls on a day-to-day basis. It will help them out, and it'll speed up calls if we have technicians that are trained, because what we're finding is that we're doing a lot of training, first-time training, through the phone. And so what happens is that it takes their time to help train and diagnose on the phone, which delays and pushes back people that need training right away. So it just delays the response time that we're able to get out to. So it's very important that we get all technicians trained as much as possible. On the flip side, the sales training. So we are able to, in person here, set up sales training. We can do it in person. We can go out to your guys' site. If you have a handful of salesmen that are throughout, I know a lot of channel partners now are multi-state. If we get one central location that we can go to, Rob or myself can go out and do sales training on site at your spot. Or, as we've learned over the last 2-3 years, we can do it virtually. We can set up webinars, we can go through it. It can be a full line sales training where it's the entire product line from, of anything that Hamilton can provide. Or if you have a specific group of salesmen that only dive into HA1000s or drive ups, or you have an opportunity for safes and vaults, entrance controls, anything like that, we can dive deeply into one specific product line. So that's really up to you guys. If you get the chance and are able to send your guys here for sales training, it's all, as we keep mentioning, it's Hamilton United. We're all under one roof. You have the ability to sit in our new conference room, which is photoed there. We have the tech training, which is where we're standing right now. And you also have the factory that is behind us to be able to go out, touch, feel, get an understanding of how they're made. A lot of sales guys, they go out, they sell the products. The newer guys and younger guys, they might not even know exactly what it is or how it's made. So it's good to get them out to the factory and let them see what it takes to build a deal drawer, what it takes to build an XLR system. They can walk through the concrete plant and see the safes being welded and poured. It's a great experience. And you get the ability to ask some of the leads and the guys actually making the question or making the products questioned as to, how they make it, why they make it. You can ask questions and get feedback directly from the factory employees, which is fantastic. Which I put a couple photos here. So we ask that you guys bring visitors. Come and visit us, your sales team, your techs, your customers. Any chance you get to come to our site, we would love it. Just get with me and Rob. We'll schedule it. We'll send you through the factory. What we have on the right photoed is our platform. So as we walk through the factory at the end, or we can do it at the beginning, you can get a bird's eye view of the entire factory floor. You can kind of see it, which is the panoramic view that is shown there. So again, come visit us, and if you haven't already, get out and register for our conference in April, the 11th through the 13th. It's going to be a great opportunity to come out and see this place. I'm going to turn it over to Todd now. Thank you.
Good morning. Glad that you all joined us today. Appreciate it, taking the time to do that. So I wanted to go over, we've already talked about tech support, but I want to hit it again because I think that there's a lot of cool stuff going on with tech support. The training center is great, and I know you can see it in the back of us, but this building and this training center is just awesome. I think that it's something that I wasn't sure I'd ever see working here all these years. It's pretty awesome to see. So I think that you're going to be overwhelmed when you actually see this. Pretty cool. So we've already talked about tech support classes, private classes. Things that we've done that we didn't talk about yet is we have tech support as a weekly meeting with operations, engineering, and sales. So what we're doing there is if they're seeing something like, I don't know, a widget's falling off or something like that, you know, whatever it might be, we're trying to get the response time to fixing a problem shorter. So there's also daily gimbal walks, and now that we're all in one building, there's no having to go travel to a different factory to do this. We're all taking part of that, so the communication is just so much better. So I think that what I'm really saying is if we have an issue, we're gonna be able to fix it a lot faster than we ever could. And then I actually put the dates up here. I don't know if you showed the dates or not, but the first class is full. Second one I think has 4 slots left. So sign the people up because I think they're going to really enjoy coming here. We don't have them in a garage anymore, so you're going to come here in a nice air-conditioned building for us to offer training to you. So one thing I failed to mention there, I clicked a little too fast, but our tech support hours from 8 to 8, and I don't know that we really advertise that. We're 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if you guys have techs out there after 5, we're taking calls up till 8 p.m. So this is more on the manual deal drawer with 1 million cycles, but the things I want to hit on is the things that are cool to you guys. The audio is just plug and play, so you guys don't have to wire anything to a terminal strip. So it also allows us to guarantee results. So if it's plug and play, we know it works from when we test it, and when you plug it in, we don't have to worry about wires getting twisted. So also the adjustable curb width, just like the 400, where you can adjust the throw of it, which is nice for sometimes you have a little deeper curb, you might want it to come out a little further than others. And then the BR rating, we're set up with you all to do that. We don't have it yet, but it will be tested in the next few weeks. And then I just wanted to throw this up here. We're retested at the end of the year, so we're recertified till 2028, which is a big deal because, you know, that's 7 more years that we have the certification. So this was pretty eventful. They've changed their technology a lot. They have better tools. So we had to be better to pass this test, which was good. It just keeps the industry moving forward. So, and I know that, just to bring it up, that Lindsay no longer is making vault panels. That's Diebold's company. So it was their retest year and they stopped making them. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. They're no longer part of the competition. And this is just, I don't know what I need to do to start that. It's just a little video of showing the torch test of the vault door. This is what they call the 3-point, well, it could be 3 or 4 points. And this is where they actually go after things that they think are weak points in the vault work. And so it's not about making that big hole that they typically do. They're just trying to make small holes to defeat your bolt work, which we passed, but it's kind of fun to see the fireworks. just had to click it one more time. So, okay. The vault doors, these will be coming out in Q2. And so we have class M 1, 2, and 3. They're all going to be fire rated for 3 hours. So the vault doors, and then we show the picture there shows the stainless just around the handle and the combos. We can also make the stainless full front. So if that's something that concerns you, we can do that. All these doors are going to be powder coated on our new powder coat line. So they're going to be quality. You know, I think you're going to be impressed with what they look like, even though they're painted. So, and as John mentioned, we're going to do the sound testing as well. I didn't put that on there. BR testing's in the process, so we should have that done shortly. And then I also wanted to, I know we've already talked about these two, but I think this is such a big change that I wanted to make sure to mention it to you. What we do is that our custom boxes and stainless boxes are constructed exact same way now. So when we make a section, you know, we can make it taller or, you know, wider. What we don't do is we don't make the doors weird sizes. We just stick with the standard sizes doors, but we make the sections work out. And we have had some input that they want us to sometimes make the sections a certain size, and we have fillers that we can put in to hold the section height. So I think if that's an issue for you, we have a solution for that as well. Just wanted to bring that up too. And then this is something that should be happening in the next few weeks, probably the next couple months, I should say. We actually received the keypads back. This is just a new refreshed audio. The difference is the audio, the standard console will be 8 lanes. So we'll basically kind of reduce how many consoles we have, but it's also a new shape with a new keypad. Really looks nice. So I think it's good. That's the pictures of them, but we also have heads running in production now where we're going to have at least 3 beta sites. We're also going to take 2 to 3 of them and try to physically attack them and see. We've already been cycle testing and the head's working really well, but we want to make sure that physically it holds up to an attack. And then the manual deal drawer that we were just talking to you about with the 1,000,000 cycles, we want to motorize that, so to give you another option. And so that's going to happen, you know, this year, and we hope to be selling that by the end of the year. So that's the plan. We also are looking at non-UL heads, just updates and refreshing that product line. And in B-rate, we really want to look at an option between lockers and a regular safe, where you have that intermediate thing that you can sell, where you don't need the security of a safe, but you need a little bit more than a locker. So, and in the website, things that we've added, like tech support wise, we've been updating all the catalog drawings. We're still in the process of that, but we've updated, you know, what, 70% of them probably. Tech support bulletins, they're added on there. Production notification, end of life, and then, you know, we're going to change the look of it a little, but right now there's a lot of good stuff. So all I'm really saying to you is that we would love for you to use our website to keep up to date, because we're going to do our best to keep that up to date, you know, so that there's always something out there in writing for things that we're making changes of. So, and then this is we're actually getting a lot of traction with our new hubs board. We have an XLR with a prototype board running right now. So we know that works. We have some quirks we're working out, but we have some boards, I think 50 boards coming in. So we will be calling some of you people to set up beta sites for this, so we can prove it out in the real world. But we actually have it working in-house. It's the cool part about what the hubs allows us to do is diagnostics. We can do remote diagnostics, but also logging, which is the key thing for logging is for tech support, and you guys too. So when just knowing what happened, because what's the real problem when someone calls you and says the carrier stuck? Well, there's always events leading to it, and so if you have logging, you can narrow it down to know what caused the carrier to get stuck. And so and then we can dial in communications with boards, like we're going to have a cellular board on tap for the new board, so we'd be able to dial into it. And, obviously monitoring, and that can be, we're going to have an option of a dashboard where you guys can actually have your own dashboard, or we can host it for you. There's going to be a couple different options with that. And then the metrics, you can tell them how the throughput of the lane, or, if we identify the tellers, what tellers has higher throughput and all those things. The metrics that everybody wants to know nowadays when you're running a business. So we'll be able to offer those to you as well with the Hubs project. And this is really focused for the remote units right now, but there's no reason why, which this is going to happen, we'll put it on the deal drawer. We like to make all of our equipment smart so that when you go out, the other thing I didn't mention either is the plan for this is when you have a remote site, you're going to log into it, and you're going to know what parts you need before you get there. So that's your biggest thing, is you can go and make a one-time call instead of going there, oh, I got to order this part. You'll know you can get the part in hand before you go to site. And this is just, the Hubs also allows us to do a queuing feature. And this is the screen to show you queuing in line. So I think we're still massaging this, but I think this is just to give you a concept of what it looks like. So I think we've had people asking for queuing, and I think you guys will really enjoy that option. And then this is the new Nighthead, and a picture of it. The beauty of the new Nighthead is, like John was saying, replacement business. These heads, the back of the head, it's kind of is made exactly the same for all. Right now we make an 80 UC, a 98, and a flat face 98. Well, the back of the head is going to be identical for all those. And so the reason why I bring that up, if you were inclined to stock one, you could stock the head and have the 3 kits, the front kits, to make it whatever head you wanted for your application. It'd be a lot less expensive than trying to stock 3 heads. So I think there's a lot of other nice features with the new head, like weather resistant. The door itself, or bucket, when it comes shut, seals the opening, and we've never done that before. And it's going to be help with cold air, but also where these don't have a canopy, sideways rain, all that good stuff. All the stainless is replaceable. None of the stainless on the front is welded on. So when someone does get, like, the bucket now is welded on, so if it gets dented or if you have to replace the bucket, this head you'll be able to replace all the stainless. It's all bolt on or riveted and bolt, and combination of, but you would be able to change it in the field. It's an 1.5 inch lower, which is a big deal for ADA. So we can actually, if you're so inclined, we can make the safes 1.5 inch taller in application. So because we lowered the handle 1.5 inches. Increased security, and mainly just because we're not giving them, with the door overlapping in the opening, it really seals. There's nothing for them to pry against or stick a Sawzall blade in or something like that. So they have to tear the front of it up before they can even start to get an easy access to it. And then we're bringing the envelope storage back standard, and it's stainless envelope storage in the unit. I know we've had lots of input from that, and you guys, that's what you want, and that's what we're doing. So smoother operation mechanism, and this is like the 3rd generation of this head, and it is really nice and smooth. I think you're going to notice the difference. The other head, we have the deposit assist on it, which is to get it down below 5 pounds. This one barely needs it, but we still have a similar mechanism on it. But we centered the weight over the axle, and that was one thing with our other depository. It's really heavy in points. I mean, without the deposit assist, take 15 pounds of pressure to open it. So this one's nothing like that. It's totally new design, all stainless. We got it also insourcing, bringing the bucket as we make it, so we don't have to depend on somebody out there. And then electronic combination lock, which sounds odd to you guys, but maybe there's, if we want to operate this with a keypad or even a prox reader or whatever, we can put an electronic lock to unlock it. So there's lots of cool features. Just it's designed to accept that, so we don't have to go and do anything weird if you need something like that. And then this is just you can scan this for the live channel partner conference. I guess that takes you to the website.
Yeah, it'll take you to the website and take you to where you can register for the channel partner conference. So take your phone out. We ask if you're coming, which we ask you to do, please take your phone out now. Go ahead and scan it with your camera. Click on the link, and it'll take you directly to the site to where you can register to come in April. So we will. We're gonna go ahead and ask for questions if there are any.
Yeah, we got a few here. Thanks, Todd, and thanks, Nick. And I guess this one could be for Todd or for John, but Todd, are we going to be making a Class M vault panel to go along with the Class M door?
We have the label, and I should answer that. I'm going to say I will get back with you on that.
Okay.
We are approved. We did test one, so we are approved. It's one of those things. I'll just be honest with you. You're talking minimal amount of concrete. The material, the labor is basically exactly the same. So there's just a little bit of weight savings, and it's hard to justify. It's hard to say that that's a whole lot cheaper to sell it to. That's really the real answer with Class A. The door, sure, because it's designed for, we didn't talk about, but I think that Class M door would be good for doomsday preppers too. It's the way everything is set up perfect for what they want.
Good. And another quick one here. When will the new Nighthead be available to order?
We're running 10 of them right now, so I'm going to say hopefully we're finished by the end of second quarter. So hopefully we can bring it in. Our plan is third quarter, but I don't know actual date yet.
Okay, thank you. And there was another question here, which I'll answer. It was about the channel partner conference and details and hotel, etc. We will be getting that out within, I'm going to say within the next couple weeks here. We have the dates and the basics for, the dinner on the Monday night and all day Tuesday in the event, but we're going to get you those details shortly here on what's going to be taking place, where to register, setting up the hotel, that type of thing. So you'll have that within the next 2 weeks to fully book. And with that, we'll any further questions that come in the next little bit, anything we haven't answered here, we'll make sure that we get you an email and fully answer your questions. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Nick for some closing comments.
Yeah, we just want to say thanks to everybody for joining us. And it's still up on the screen. Please register to come see us in April. Thank you for your time. And,
thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good day.